Well, welcome everybody. This is a unique presentation here today on smart technology products to help people live in place. I have a wonderful panel here today. They'll introduce themselves. But what I want to go through is, come on, move forward, about the sessions. I'm going to stand up here because it's kind of hard for me to see what's up there. Basically, what the sessions is all about is how to make not only your home, but your client's home to be suitable for all needs. And then how to make a home for living in place. So here are my four presenters. We'll let them introduce themselves. But really, what is living in place? A lot of people associate it with aging in place, but aging in place is only for the demographic of like 65 plus. On the contrary, what we look at it is it's like crib to grave. And what I mean by that is some children are born with special needs or on the autistic spectrum. And then you have the unfortunate circumstance of somebody being on their skis or mountain bike or whatever and going head over heels and having a broken hip or whatever, coming home and the house is ill prepared for them. Or for that matter, somebody who has had a life-changing event, whether it's an accident or a medical condition. Somebody came up to me this morning about one of their colleagues, a system integrator, who was doing wiring for them, and recently he was involved in a motorcycle accident. Now he's a paraplegic. All of a sudden, his home is not ready for him. So, so these things can make a big difference in people's houses, especially from a smart technology standpoint, because you want to make, as I think you all want to do, is to make the house work for your clients, not the other way around. So in essence, it's not just for seniors, it's for everybody. So how I look at it is a living in place home is accessible, healthy, safe, secure, functional, beauty, and beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Some people don't really care. And then connected, and I like that word connected. Connected not only is the smart technology you guys work with, but also allowing people who are in that home who may not be fully functional to connect with all of their friends, their family, and the like. So the products that are part of this presentation all have features that meet this need. And just a little side note, they're also being included in what is the Living in Place Institute Idea Home. My home was involved in the Marshall wildfire about 20 months ago, and we're rebuilding it with a lot of unique features, designs, and products. And these are some of the companies that are part of that. So, Scott.
All right, thanks, Louie. So my name is Scott Stevenson. I'm Senior Director of Product for Motorization at Hunter Douglas. Hunter Douglas is the world's largest manufacturer of custom window treatments. And if you want to jump to the next slide. So, you know, it's really interesting when we talk to anybody, not necessarily a living in place situation, we talk about the fundamental benefits of automated shades. And I mean, these are the things that draw people to them. And you know, it's the convenience factor, the security and safety factor, energy savings, as well as just the comfort level in your home. And I think these things really apply even stronger in a living in place type scenario. And I'm gonna tell that story through actually the story of two sets of parents. So my parents and then my father-in-law. Those are not their actual pictures. They would all kill me if I put their actual pictures up here. But so my parents are, you know, in both cases, you know, my parents and my father-in-law living independently. They're all in their 80s. I have provided my parents with motorized window shades for their entire place, and they absolutely love them. And so for my mom, she has MS. It's really hard for her to get around, for her to move around. So in the morning when she wakes up, the ability to just, you know, hit a button on the remote next to the bed, or to even tell Alexa to open the shades is huge. She's not having to, you know, get up, climb out of bed, and try and walk over to where the windows are, and then manually having to control them in order to get light in the room and start feeling awake and, you know, and ready to face the day. Same thing. They've got a sliding glass door that has a motorized shade on it, and it's infinitely easier for her to, again, a remote or Alexa or whatever, have that open, and she can then get out there using her walker and not be fumbling with trying to move this shade around. And then, of course, the security aspect of it, the shades just are closed when they walk into the bedroom at night. They're not having people looking in on them. All that kind of stuff really goes a long way. And it's also then, it's comfortable in their home. It's well lit. They've got things that just, because of the fact that the shades are moving on a schedule, it means that the rooms are lit appropriately with natural light. So let me now contrast that with my father-in-law, who lives by himself. My mother-in-law died a number of years ago from cancer. My father-in-law, despite me offering a number of times, he does not have any of our automated shades. And every time we visit, doesn't matter if it's the middle of the day, on a nice, spring sunny day, every one of the shades in the house is closed. And it's that way for several reasons. One of, it's a lot for him to go around every day and open and close those shades. It's just become not worth it to him. It's an exercise that he's not willing to do. Also, he's got old windows, and they're not very energy efficient. So it means that it's always cold in there, especially in the wintertime at least. So he keeps the shades closed to help insulate things. But again, that means, since he's there by himself, he doesn't get out that much. He gets really no exposure to natural light, which we know is so important for your circadian rhythms to have that natural light exposure. So you can really just tell the difference of these, these two parents of what a difference motorized shades make in the way that they live in their home, and continue to be able to do so. And with that, I will turn it over to the next person.
And here's Scott's information. I do not know the booth number you're in.
We actually have two booths right next to each other, 2947 and 3147.
So one of them is basically a demo area?
Yeah. We previewed last year, and this year are officially launching a product called Aura Illuminated Shades, which actually generate light from the shade itself. So it could be 4 o'clock in the morning, and maybe you're a doctor and you got to get up and get off to the hospital. You can awake to, quote, natural light coming through your window, even though it's actually being generated by the shade. And that experience is pretty cool to see, actually, in our booth over there.
Casey.
Awesome. Thank you, Louie, for having me, and also our panelists for putting together this awesome group. My name is Casey Levy-Tellick. I am Director of Business Development at Josh AI. So I've had the pleasure of working with everybody here on partnership and integration opportunities. You can see us in booth number 3728 for a full demo and to really get the entire Josh pitch. But we can move on to the next slide, and I can kind of get into what Josh is all about.
Is that the right slide? It went black.
No, it looks good.
Oh, there it is. Sorry.
Yep. No, next slide.
Next one.
Yep. So, while Josh entered the market in the CI channel right around 7-8 years ago, we're actually making quite a transformative shift with how we're positioning ourselves. And in a nutshell, the best way I can put it is, Josh is the control system that enables you to interact with your environment however is most natural. And that's really, to the theme that Louie touched on to start the presentation, is the connectedness of the home, connectedness with your family, whoever might, be concerned about your well-being, especially when it comes to independent living, is being able to monitor not only, somebody remotely with a control system and a solution like Josh, but also having that ease of use and connectedness with all the devices in your home, and being able to use a simple, easy app for being able to control and access those devices, or being able to use the power of your voice and just naturally ask for anything or any sort of activation to happen. We can go to the next slide. I think the examples. So we got just a quick review of the Josh product family. We have our share of microphone products that enable, again, natural speech, everything as well with the Josh product mix. We focus on data security and privacy. So any sort of concerns that clients or families have about any sort of data. We're very conscious of that. And of course, we have a beautiful app interface, again, that allows you to control and personalize your experience. And again, remotely monitor everything. Next slide. So, all right, this is what I was waiting for. So we have quite a few success stories already with Josh as far as assisted living goes, bettering the quality of life for certain clients of ours that might be, in one case, we have a blog post that was shared by a dealer of ours whose son is paraplegic. And what Josh has been able to do for them as far as improving their accessibility to different devices in their home, freeing them up to be able to access, and really be able to independently operate. It's an empowering feeling to have a control system, to have an AI in your home that understands you and that is able to kind of enable this seamless user interaction. And then just on the right-hand side of the slide, we talked about it earlier this year, right when I met with Louie for the first time about how technology is really improving the quality of life, and whether, again, it's interacting with your surroundings and how Josh is helping clients do that, or in the case of maybe helping with some of that loneliness factors of living on your own. We have one client who's actually based in Denver, and she was a very early Josh client. She was a widow, elderly, grandmother age, and one of the really fun aspects of our job is hearing these success stories of Josh. Not only am I so used to talking to Josh that I don't use my light switches or my physical interfaces anymore because it's like the best friend that's in the home with me, but now with even more of the features that we're rolling out, Josh is even more conversational. It's more of a friend that can answer, in addition to your smart home type of control queries, things like general assistance, and we're going to get to our Josh GPT slide in just a second here. But things that is more of a companion to talk to, which I think is something that, while it's physically the physical connection and that ability to interact in your surroundings is extremely important, especially for this demographic that we're looking at. It's also the emotional factor, and having that assistant that again is able to have a conversation with you, remind you of certain tasks or schedules or appointments that you need to do throughout your day, or even just answer a question or clarify something about your favorite movie or a song that might have reminded you of something in your childhood. So again, all the above is part of the Josh experience. You can go to the next slide. All right, so this. Yep, no, this is a good slide. All right, so this is our. If anybody hasn't been able to check out the Josh booth yet, or might have missed out on our summer reveal event that was a little bit earlier this summer, we launched a feature called Josh GPT, and that's what I'm getting at with kind of what I was talking about with kind of those queries or questions about things, whether it's a movie or an artist or just something that might be reminiscent of childhood for some of these elderly clients, or just, again, kind of a general question that is more of an interaction or a conversation with another entity in your home, in addition to the smart home accessibility that we offer. So Josh is not only that control solution for your smart home, again, like improving interoperability and the connectedness, but also the AI and that singular AI solution that is offering voice, proactive automation, recommendations, and ultimately this conversational assistant with really limitless intelligence now, thanks to Josh GPT. Next slide. Which slide is this? Looking to enable. Oh, why Josh? Okay. The slide was black before. I don't know why it's white now. But anyway, so for partners looking to adopt voice, and whether you're an integrator, whether you're a client, a new partner that's interested in integrating or strategically partnering with us in some other way, there's a lot of reasons why you should choose Josh. I would recommend that you come by the Josh booth and we can have a larger discussion about that. But again, it's for us, not only does it improve accessibility and this connectedness in the home, It's innovative in the sense that we're always pushing software updates as well. So whether you're a customer or a dealer that is looking for a new feature that is maybe waiting on a support fix or something like that, Josh is pushing new updates every couple of weeks to our systems. So the system is always improving. It's always able to understand clients and how they refer to things in a more natural way, thanks to our proprietary natural language understanding. And yeah, I mean, as far as pricing models and everything else, again, I don't want to get into everything that, or else I'd be talking the whole time here on the panel. So please stop by the Josh booth. We can cover all the above in much more detail.
So one thing I like about Josh is, if I understand this correctly, all the commands stay resident in the home. It does not go out to the network?
Not quite.
Okay.
But we handle commands a bit differently than any other voice platform out there. So right now, not to get too technical, but the speech-to-text process and leveraging a speech recognition platform, the most accurate platforms are cloud-based. So we do have to go off-site in order to transcribe that speech file to a text file.
Okay.
However, we try to localize that processing whenever possible. But depending on the type of command that you give, we can either localize that process or we have to go back out to the cloud. For example, if I ask Josh what the weather is, or a general assistant type of question like what's a recipe for chocolate chip cookies, then it's going to have to go to the cloud to essentially find that information that's most relevant to that question. But if I was giving a command like turn on the lights, then that's a very straightforward local command that once we get that text and our software starts processing it, it's localized and very efficient.
Cool. All right. Jeremy, you're up.
Hello. Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. Hi, my name is Jeremy Brown. I'm the Director of Customer Experience at Swidget. Thank you, Louie, the Living in Place Institute, and my fellow presenters for having me here. So Swidget is a smart home technology company. We manufacture modular wiring devices that allow integrators and builders to deploy a variety of sensors around the home using the home's wiring devices, outlets and switches and dimmers, to know what's going on in those spaces. So for instance, you can put motion sensor at the front door, temperature humidity sensor in the bathroom to measure humidity, air quality sensors in those areas in your home where you want to keep an eye on the air quality. But not only can Swidget know what's going on in those spaces, but they can also be attached to appliances that can do some sort of remediation to remove the condition that you don't want. For instance, when there's a high humidity spike during a shower, the humidity will tell the switch to be on, it'll turn the bathroom fan on, start venting air, and once that air has been vented, it'll automatically turn the switch off. So how does this all apply to living in place? Well, the couple of points that I wanted to touch upon, and I'm kind of going off script here from the presentation because I want to tell a bit of a story about my experience with living in place and mostly aging in place. So the three things I wanted to talk about were the fact that technology needs to be simple and intuitive. Technology needs to work for multiple stakeholders. As well, it needs to be able to adapt as your requirements change. And so how I wanted to kind of frame all of this is in my journey, most importantly, my mom's journey as she became sick and elderly and aged and eventually sadly passed away. When I first started working for Swidget, of course, I took the products and I said, hey, Mom, I want to install this stuff in your home. It's really convenient. Can help protect your investment by helping with humidity remediation. It's really cool. It works with voice assistants. It can turn your lights on automatically. So make things really easy on you and convenient. But because our products are modular, as her needs changed, so could the technology. And so what started as technology that was convenient for her evolved as her needs changed. And so what that meant was she could tell when her mobility became limited, she could use a voice assistant to turn on her TV or turn on her lights or off her lights, and without having to get up. As her dexterity maybe decreased, she was able to use, Swidget has pretty large paddles on our switches, so easy to turn off and on, or easy to turn the brightness up or down. So these kinds of things made it much easier for her to live and remain independent. As her health declined, things changed, and so we replaced. We created automations that gave notifications when certain things were happening in the home. So, for instance, if motion was sensed in the hallway, I would receive a notification, a discrete notification that says, okay, she's up and moving around, great. If energy is sensed in the outlet that's controlling the coffee maker at 9 a.m., I got a notification, I know that she's up making a cup of coffee. So these were really discrete monitoring tools that allowed us to know what was going on in the home. And even further on, as her health declined and she needed more care, more in-person care around the clock, we were able to install like a video camera, for instance, in an outlet or a switch in the living room that kept an eye on her, so we were able to step out, run some errands, but also always be able to check in on her and see what's going on. So technology that is adaptive is really, really helpful as people's needs change, as they go through life, and especially when acute things happen where you go from certain capabilities one day to the next, where you need to kind of re-outfit your home with different types of technology. And Swidget's modular capability is really, really powerful in its ability to do that.
You've covered a lot of this.
Yes, so I do want to just touch on the how technology is important for multiple stakeholders. So as I mentioned, the products need to be simple and intuitive for the homeowner or the resident, so that, because if it's complicated, it's probably not going to get used and it's going to get in the way. So it needs to be simple and intuitive. But an additional capability is how it needs to help with other stakeholders like loved ones or caregivers. So as I mentioned, I was able to receive these notifications, and as people progress through their capabilities, those notifications can change. I don't need to know every time there's motion, but I can get an alert for a more important thing, like something like someone's out of bed in the morning or during the night, and I can inquire, maybe with a phone call or checking the video camera to see what's going on. So these things are all important for living in place and aging in place.
So you definitely went off script here, which is great.
Yeah.
I like the story you have. It's interesting, the two things that you guys kind of mention or get into is future-proofing. Basically, your technologies allow incremental and perhaps substantial changes easily done.
Yeah, so one of there's two really simple ways I can kind of describe that in terms of Swidget. So one of the ways we're really future-proof is in the communication protocol. Right now we're using, all our products are Wi-Fi and Z-Wave products, but as new technologies come along, we don't have to call back an electrician to remove that technology. It's the insert that gets removed, and you upgrade. So we have Zigbee, and when Matter becomes more important, we'll be able to easily swap out the devices for Matter. In addition to that, a really simple one is we started with a USB charger, now we got a USB-C charger. So it's just simple to swap that out for the new kind of technology.
All right, Joseph.
Thank you, Louie. Hello? There we go. Thanks, Louie, for having me and us up here to talk about this very important subject. My name is Joseph Castonguay. I'm the president of AutoSlide. AutoSlide, we design and manufacture automation systems for doors, windows, and locks. Everything surrounding access points into the home, to the office. Let's see, is my slide up there? So go back to that slide real quick first.
I'll get there.
So that statement right there, a necessity for many, convenience for all, that should be kind of a mantra for the independent living and technology, for adaptive technologies. Understanding there's a lot of products in this place that people use for convenience and enjoyment, where other people really need that to have a healthy lifestyle. You can go to the next slide. So. When we started out with our business, we didn't know the market to concentrate on, and we soon discovered that the independent living market was our largest marketplace. That started when I got a call from a father whose son had MS and had problems getting around the home, and trying to give him as much privacy as possible. with the bedroom door being closed or bathroom door being closed, with a power chair, that could be very difficult to get in and out of those scenarios. But because of our devices, they can add a device onto the door to automate that door to allow them to get in and out completely hands-free, either using a proximity RFID tag, or you can use your voice, even all the way down to using your eyes as we integrate our products in with other platforms like the Josh AI, which is a very great native speaking platform. You go to the next slide. So go one more slide. So this is a house. This is an example of a house of less than 1,000 square feet. There's 10 different doors in this house. If you lived in this place by yourself, you would have a very difficult time maneuvering around that place, especially if you have very limited mobility as like quadriplegic or paraplegic. And if you still wanted to retain a lifestyle of privacy, operating doors in and out as you go in and out can be not only be difficult or unattainable, but also could cause instances of hospitalization with falls. So that's where our products come into play a lot in this marketplace. You can go to the next slide.
But I do like the last word you have there.
Oh yes,
the solution.
Solution. Yes, AutoSlide equals solution. And so our philosophy is very simple. So typically with automatic doors, you're purchasing the door and the automation together. You're very limited in what you can do. We've scratched that, and we've developed universal devices that can attach to pretty much any existing door. So you don't even have to change your door. You can just take our system, place it on those doors, and now you have a fully automated door, which is really nice. You can go to the next slide. So these are just a few different examples. So everything from a sliding patio door to a barn-style door, a pocket door, and even to a hinged entry door in the home. We have solutions for all those, and we continue to develop new solutions for doors and windows as those change in styles as well. The next slide. You can just keep going. I'll just go off script. It'll be a lot easier because it's too difficult looking at this way.
Hands-free now.
All right, hands-free access. So, as we continue to, the building industry continues to grow, doors are getting heavier, bigger, and harder to move. And when you're building your forever home, the last place that you're going to be in, or you're renovating, you might want to have a nice big scenic view, and you put these large doors in that have a nice view of the water or your backyard, but all of a sudden now you can't even open those doors because they're extremely heavy. And that's where we come into place to be able to allow that access. And what's nice is, if you can go to the next slide, you can go one more. So the technology that we've built back into the back-end part of our platform, we do have over-the-air updates, which is really nice, which means you're not having we're future-proofing our systems to prevent anything that has to be replaced into the future, which is really nice. And also built into our system is a complete super secure e-key platform that will allow guests to have access. So let's just say you had a nurse that needed to come by Monday and Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Her key would only work at those times. And if she tried to access the house at a different time, you would get an alert that someone's trying to access the house when they should not be getting into there. So we take security and safety as a big priority. And what we've also done is all our systems do have backup batteries, and we use BLE as our main protocol. So even if you lose internet and power, somebody who's confined to a power scooter or wheelchair can still get out of their house, get out of their bedroom, and get to where they need in their house.
All right, so we're going to close it up here because there's somebody else coming. So I want to thank my 4 panelists today. I did want to point out, your windows, your blinds, they're also battery powered along with a DC power from a power source?
Yes, they can either be hardwired if it's new construction or battery powered for retrofit.
So before we leave, booth number?
2947.
Come see Josh AI 3728.
Swidget at 1725.
Auto Slides 939, we have the fully working doors over there so you can experience them yourself.
And if you have any questions about the Living in Place Institute, I'm at 936, right near where Joseph's at. So I want to thank everybody here and thank my panelists again for being here. Thank you. And if you have any questions, I'm sure my fellow panelists will be just outside here, but we need to close up here. If you want to take a picture of our contact information, you can do that as well. So thank you for being here today, folks.